Okay, we are live. ¿Qué tal, amigos? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with this evening's live stream, 7:40 p.m. It is the 7th of December, the month of December flying by as they all seem to do nowadays. And looking at some of the main stories that have caught my attention in the press here today in Spain, not a lot of stories around, I'm going to be honest about that, and some comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers as well we will take a look at. And we'll go into the chat section, see what's bubbling away in that chat section around the 18-minute mark of this evening's live stream. Straight into the news, as I always do, and this story here about the pork industry here in Spain and the threat to the pork industry from African swine fever. And Spain is a global pork powerhouse and facing a serious threat from this disease. Spain's pork industry, the backbone of its livestock sector and a major agri-food export engine, is facing a critical challenge following the detection of African swine fever in wild boar near Barcelona. With more than 33 million pigs, 54 million animals slaughtered in 2024, and exports worth almost 8.8 billion euros, Spain is the world's fourth largest pork producer after China, the US, and Brazil, and the largest in Europe. The sector overtook Germany in 2015 after ASF severely damaged German production. Although no cases have yet been found on Spanish farms, the discovery of the virus in Calle has already unsettled markets. Industry leaders warn that failure to contain the outbreak could have devastating consequences. 13 European countries currently have active ASF outbreaks, and Spain now joins that list after more than 30 years free of the disease. And if we take a look at the top countries in the world with the most pigs, we saw the names mentioned there. China, of course, way out on top. A huge number of pigs in that country there, as we can see. I don't even want to try that figure. The US with a lot as well. Brazil and Spain in fourth place. Russia coming in fourth. Vietnam, Germany, Mexico, Canada, and France. But all could change in the blink of an eye if this disease, if this ASF, the African swine fever, takes hold among the general pork industry here. Not only the wild boars, where it currently is contained to wild boars currently. So if it gets into the rest of the pig industry supply, Spain could be in trouble. Spain could be in trouble as far as pig exports are concerned. That is for sure. Next piece of news here now. And Donald Trump Jr. making headlines in Spain. Believe it or not, Donald Trump Jr., because he's urging Spain to step up defense spending amid NATO target dispute. Donald Trump Jr. has publicly challenged the US ambassador to NATO's supportive stance on Spain's defense spending, urging Madrid to step up its military investment. Spain currently spends around 2.2% of GDP on defense and has rejected NATO's collective target of 5% by 2035. Trump Jr. argued that the lower figure reflects past US efforts under his father to push allies to contribute more fairly, insisting that efficiency is not a solution without higher spending. His remarks came a day after Ambassador Matthew Whitaker said Washington was not concerned by Spain's refusal to adopt the 5% target, praising Madrid for finally exceeding 2% after years below 1.5%. Whitaker stressed that what matters most is meeting agreed NATO military capabilities rather than headline spending levels. From 2026, all NATO members, including Spain, will face annual reviews of their defense commitments. So Donald Trump Jr., as we can see here, urging Spain to step up defense spending. And is it just me, or why is Trump Jr. making headlines and talking to the NATO ambassador. I didn't know that presidents' children had such an active role in world politics, but it seems that as far as the Trumps are concerned, there's no boundaries. And Trump Jr. also saw him recently on Wall Street ringing the bell because of a company that he's taken public, and I think it was related to the defense industry. I could be wrong. If I am, please forgive me, but I think so. So obviously some interests there, I would say, from Trump Jr., Donald Trump Jr. Next piece of news here, and Spain has withdrawn from Eurovision 2026 after rules change allows Israel to compete. Spain has announced its withdrawal from Eurovision 2026 following a decision by the European Broadcasting Union to amend the contest's rules to allow Israel to participate. Dutch, Slovenian and Irish broadcasters have also confirmed their exit. Spain's public broadcaster RTVE will not air either the semi-finals or the final, scheduled for the 16th of May 2026 in Vienna. RTVE, along with 7 other delegations, had formally requested a secret ballot at the EBU General Assembly, but the presidency rejected a specific vote on Israel's participation. RTVE said this decision undermined confidence in the competition and confirmed political pressure surrounding the event. Its president, José Pablo López, stated that Eurovision had become a geopolitically driven festival rather than a music contest. The EBU defended the rules change as a move to reinforce transparency, neutrality and trust, arguing that all eligible members would now be treated equally. So there we go, the big news story of the last few days. I don't say that lightly. Spain withdrawing from Eurovision 2026 because Israel is going to participate. And the president, they're saying that Eurovision has become too political in recent times. Forgive me again for my ignorance, but I always thought Eurovision was a politically motivated song contest and not only with music on display. But again, I could be wrong, and if I am, sorry. So, if Israel is in, and again, is Israel Europe? That is the question for many people. Obviously, I understand why Israel takes part in these festivals and other competitions in Europe, because they don't have too many amigos in their local area, so they need to play in places where they will be received. But Spain and other countries there, Ireland, for example, saying, if Israel is in, we are out. So, I wouldn't have watched that anyway, to be honest, but there we go. Israel, Spain out, Israel in. No Eurovision Song Contest for 2026. So if you are a fan of Eurovision, sorry for that. But if you're not, like myself, who cares? Who cares? Comments that have been left on the channel in recent times by viewers. We'll take a look at some of these comments from you guys, the viewers. Let's have a look at the first one here from Jen. Thanks, Stu. I was also thinking that the person probably had stews, lentils, etc. that had pork as an element. There are even tiny bits of pork in the broiled mushrooms. I had an issue with a travel partner last year who didn't eat pork. It was only after the 3rd or 4th mushroom cap before we realized they were flavored with tiny flecks of chorizo. Tiny flecks of chorizo, possibly. Normally, it's ham that is in this dish. Jen, the setas or champiñones or whatever you want to call them, that are cooked with ham and garlic, maybe a little bit of white wine, one of these specialties here in Spain as far as that dish is concerned. And pork is, as we saw, Spain is a big pork producer. Very, very popular internally here in Spain as well. Consumption levels very, very high. And also, as we saw, they're exporting as well to other countries around the world. So pork, the king of meats in Spain, I would say. And I haven't found too many people that would disagree with that. Pork, the king of meats. Thanks, Jen, for the comment. One here from Blu-ray Fan. I'll bet car dealers will hike up their prices if the government start offering grants or incentives for electric vehicles. Thanks, Blu-ray, for the comment there. We saw the other day that the government has hundreds of millions of euros planned next year to give as subsidies for people to buy an EV, an electric car. They want to get the combustion models off the roads here in Spain as quickly as possible, the diesel cars, the gasoline cars out, and bring in the electric vehicles. We also saw that they're going to improve the charging infrastructure, spend more money on that as well. And of course, the incentives, which I imagine a lot of people will take in order to move to an electric vehicle. Not everyone is happy about this. We'll see a comment in just a moment, but that's what the Spanish government is planning on doing as we move ever closer to the combustion-free system here in Spain. Don't know what the exact time frame is for this, but I think that over the next 20 or 30 years, they want to get rid of these cars completely, and electric is what they are betting on now. Probably going to show my age, but I remember when diesel cars were given subsidies as well. Buy a diesel car. Here you go. Here's a few €1,000, and if you did buy a diesel car back in the day, one here from Eddie. The repercussions from this swine flu can end up being catastrophic for the pork industry and heavily impact the Spanish economy. I'm so glad that we have very stringent border controls in Eddie's country, Australia. Thanks, Eddie, for the comment. And I know firsthand how strict the border rules and regulations are in Australia. In fact, you could probably consider them to be ridiculously strict if you were moving to Australia or going to Australia for the first time. Pork sandwich in your backpack, it's going to be taken off you quick smart. Whereas here in Europe, the border controls are not the same. I imagine they are, from pork coming in from other countries. There are controls on it. But of course, when you have an island, which is the case of Australia, probably you think that these things are of a greater risk rather than the European Union, where things move freely from country to country, right? So, that's one of the main differences between the two. But thanks, Eddie, for that. And it would be devastating for the Spanish economy and the pork industry if this swine flu takes hold. Thanks, Eddie, for the comment there. Another one here from Ian, anti-EV. EV should not be advantaged by incentives. And have you seen the recent news about batteries and not being covered in warranties and the rising expense in repair costs, more over insurance premiums? Thanks, Ian, for the comment. I haven't seen the things that you mentioned there, but I'll take your word for it. There's recent news about batteries. Not sure exactly what's going on. Are they a hazard or are they exploding? I've got no idea. I haven't seen anything in the news here about that. I have in other countries, of course. And judging by some of the comments in general on the channel in recent times, it's one of these divisive things. Electric vehicles. A lot of people would prefer to keep the traditional models, burning on the fossil fuels, the combustion engines, not move towards electric, or they have another alternative that they would prefer rather than the EV. And as I said, you only have to see the comments to realize that this is an issue that can split opinion. So thanks, Ian, for that. But I'm sure it's not going to stop the government's plan here in Spain to push forward with subsidies next year, 2026. So thanks for the comment. And the final one here from Ray. Interested to know about hire cars. Should you request one at time of hire? Says Ray, referring to the V16 beacons that will go on top of your car. Compulsory as of 2026 to have one in the glove compartment of your vehicle. Hire cars, because they're registered cars here in Spain, they'll have to adhere to all of the safety features. So a lot of people were worried about that in the comment section. Hire cars. Some people also that have convertibles saying, where am I going to put it if I have a convertible? Got no idea where you're going to put it if you've got a convertible, maybe on the side of the car. I've got no idea, but the V16 Beacon, also one of these controversial things for some who think we're going to be tracked, our movements are going to be tracked by the police. And lots of people with different theories in the comment section, but the idea of the Spanish government here is to keep us safer on the roads, and this is what they are betting on, the V16 Beacon. But hire cars will have them automatically, so I wouldn't worry about that. I have a rental car. It's a long-term rent, and the company sent me the Beacon because it's compulsory in the vehicle. So there we go. So I wouldn't worry about that if you're planning on coming to Spain next year or the year after, and worried about whether or not there's going to be a beacon in the glove box or the glove compartment. Into the live chat now. We'll see what's been bubbling away in the live chat in just a moment. Before I get there, I need to highlight the background picture. This one sent in by Pete and Jane, regular travellers to Spain, of course. And this photo highlighting the works of Frank Geary, who passed away last week, I think. Pete sending this message through, highlighting the fact that Mr. Geary has passed away, and his works will live on, not only here in Spain, but around the world as well. His architectural designs, like the Guggenheim Museum in Bilbao, which, let's be honest about this, has transformed that particular city, the city of Bilbao. And anyone who has been to Bilbao in recent times will testify to that, no doubt. Thanks, Pete and Jane, for sending the picture through. Similar pictures you can send to this email address, spainspeaks@gmail.com, on the screen now, or any other information that you would like to send my way. That is the email address on the screen now, spainspeaks@gmail.com. Also, to people that haven't hit the like icon yet, why not? Do us a favor. Won't cost you a cent. Hit the like icon just below the video, and we'll see if we can get up to a decent tally today. People that have supported the channel in recent times, whether it's on the YouTube super thanks option or the super chat, whether it's through buying me a coffee, Patreon supporters, thank you very much for that support. And also the channel members of this YouTube channel, thank you very much for that support as well. Thank you very much for that. Now, where am I? Into the live chat. Let's see what the activity's like. Not expecting a lot considering the amount of people watching, so let's go through this quickly. Barbara, regular viewer, valued member in the chat here too, coming in from Catral, sunny 22 there. Same in the Playa Flamenca, where Barbara normally resides. Good to see you, Barbara. Sani coming in here as well, hoping we've had a lovely weekend from Basingstoke in the UK. Good to see you. Janet in the chat here, suffering from a virus or flu, not happy. Get well, Janet. It's the time of the year. I'm amazed at the amount of people suffering a cold or a flu or a virus at the moment. Unbelievable, the numbers. Unbelievable. El Conquistador is in the chat here coming in. This is Stephen coming in from a wet North London, left Torrevieja. I can't see the names. I can only see the handles here of people. So sorry about that, Stephen. Left Torrevieja this morning. It's warming up nicely with plenty of sun. Thank you very much. Yes, quite mild around Spain in general, I think, today. Even here in Madrid, it was a mild day, 13 or 14 degrees Celsius, which can be considered mild for this time of year. Kev's in the chat, coming in from Murcia. Christmas decorations. Has he been yet? He seems to have bought me a happy wife. Thanks for that, Kev. Good luck to you with a happy wife. Bronny coming in from Wales, South Wales, hoping the cold is better. Lingering a little bit, Bronny, lingering a little bit, I will say, but in general, I'm back to full strength. What are we now? We're up to probably over 2 weeks, is it? So, yeah, a little bit of when I wake up in the morning, a little bit of a blocked nose sometimes, but apart from that, everything is okay. Billy's saying that Spain needs more goats. What's that for eating, Billy? Not sure. Larry coming in from La Palma down there in the Canaries. 22 degrees there today. Beautiful. Marianne wishing the community to stay healthy and active. Thanks, Marianne, for that. The Jazz Shed coming in, watching, hoping we are well. Barry St. Edmunds. Don't forget to hit the like icon. Thanks, Jazz Shed. Israel has always competed recently. Thanks, Janet, for that. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Eurovision Song Contest, so I can't tell you who competes and who doesn't, but I know Australia's in there as well for whatever reason that would be. Andrew's saying if there's money to be made, the Trump family will be right there. Seems to be the case, right? I mean, in the past, whenever there was a dictatorship, you would expect the family to have its hands in the pie. Look at the African dictatorships, the Angolas, and some South American dictatorships as well. The families with their hands in the pie trying to do business. But it seems to be becoming far too common in other countries nowadays as well that the family members, and perhaps this is not limited to the Trump family, I've got no idea, that family members are trying to get in on the act. Kev also saying here, things like sport and the arts, if you can call Eurovision that, should not be subject to politics. Should not. Thanks, Kev. Unfortunately, they are. Jimbo, our sports reporter here, saying, back, good win, Australia cricket, and Australia lead 2-0 in the Ashes. I wasn't going to bring this up, Jimbo, but since you've mentioned it there, what can I say? What can I say about the English cricket team? What can I say? Years and years of preparation to be absolutely smashed in the first two tests. But apparently the golf game is quite good at the moment of the English cricket team, getting their handicaps down. But the cricket game, don't know. Let's see if they bounce back for the third, the fourth, and the fifth test in Australian conditions. Johnny, hello to everyone. December 7th on a Sunday too. My middle brother was born in 1941 as well, says Johnny. Thanks, Johnny, for that. What else we got going on here? Al, hi everyone. Miserable day in Brittany. Going forward, wet week ahead. Keep up the conversations. Thanks, Al. Trump Jr., not another one, says Kim. YouTubers, several countries pull out of Eurovision, not just Spain. Yeah, we saw that in the article, YouTubers. Thanks for that. But because we're in Spain, we talk about Spain. What else we got going on here? Unlike the UK, diesel is still cheaper for the Land Rover than petrol, and for the wife's petrol Merc in Spain. There we go. Not moving to the EV yet. Kev also saying here the interesting picture from showing off Frank Gehry's work. Raymond coming in from a rainy Bogota, if I can get those words out. Off to Alicante for Christmas. Can't wait. Thanks for that, Raymond. Mick in the chat also. Wet and windy Liverpool. Plans for Christmas. Will it be turkey and all the trimmings, or a traditional Spanish food? Well, the turkey doesn't get much of a run here in Spain, Mick, I will say. Doesn't get much of a run. Lamb is a popular Christmas dish here. Seafood as well. And some other types of meat. That Movember Mo looking like a 70s Aussie getting on the Benson and Hedges darts. IVX Ample. I think that's our Canadian friend. Can't remember the name at the moment, but I think that's it. Can't see I can only see the handles at the moment, so if that is the case, let us know. Kev saying, cricket LOL, any game that will take 5 days and might have time to watch and end up in a draw ain't going to happen. Every game of Monopoly can be a stretch. Kev's not a big cricket fan. Jazz said, saying here that Australia have taken part in Eurovision a number of times. Israel is a bit more local. Yeah, it is a little bit more local, but again, I don't understand Australia's participation, to be honest. And YouTube going to be banned in Australia for under 16s this week. There goes Stu's millennial audience. I think it's Divi. I think is Divi or Diggy or whatever the name is here. I think. Yeah, don't really have much of a millennial audience, to be honest. Divi, whatever, I think, or IVX. The older generations, I think, are the viewers here. People my age and above. So it's not going to affect me. I don't have a big audience in Australia either. So I'm not worried about that. And as far as I know, Diffie, I think is the name there, people are going to get around it. And Chris is in Alicante. On that note, time to wrap the live stream up. Been a pleasure as always. I'll be back again earlier in the week. Tuesday, I think, will be the next one. Until that day, hasta luego, hasta entonces, adios, and bye-bye. Bye-bye. See you later. Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. Where am I? Not working. Anyway, you understand what I mean, right? See you later until the next live stream. Bye-bye.